ahead on 12 News. Before Maple Grove was even a city, there was this place with a good view of its surroundings. Plus, part of an industry hit hard by the recession. Today in Plymouth, a manufacturing company sets its sights on the future. But first, the latest in a murder-suicide case that shook a Brooklyn Center neighborhood. 12 News starts right now. A father and his adult son are dead from gunshot wounds in apparent murder-suicide. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. The incident happened early this morning inside a home in the 1300 block of 72nd Avenue North in Brooklyn Center. Delane Cleveland was at the scene today and he joins us now with more. Delane?
Yeah, Mike and Alex, in addition to the father and son, the mother in that family took a bullet to the arm. It's a situation investigators are calling a domestic dispute. Police were called to the home shortly before 1 a.m. on Monday after reports of gunshots. When officers arrived, they found a man and his adult son inside the home, both dead from gunshot wounds after police say the son killed his father and then took his own life. Investigators say the mother, who suffered a gunshot wound to the arm, was not an intended target. Meantime, people who live nearby say this is a normally quiet neighborhood and that the incident is a reflection of the unpredictable nature of domestic violence.
Domestic violence is never good. Handguns and domestic violence, bad mix. Quiet neighborhood at night. There's almost no sounds going on here other than the occasional car passing. So it is surprising to see domestic violence so close to home.
Police say there were a number of other people in the home at the time of the shooting, but they didn't suffer any injuries. Detectives from the Brooklyn Center Police Department and Hennepin County continue to investigate, but they say they are not looking for anyone outside the home and they don't think there is any danger to the public. Mike?
All right, Delane, thanks. Authorities are investigating what led to a fatal motorcycle crash in Golden Valley. A jogger found the body of a woman next to a motorcycle Saturday morning just east of Worth Lake. The woman was identified as 51-year-old Cheryl Kuntz of Minneapolis. According to the medical examiner, Kuntz had suffered head and abdominal injuries in the crash less than a mile from her home.
Will there be a federal government showdown or a budget compromise? The current fiscal year ends on September 30th when an agreement needs to be reached. Senator Amy Klobuchar hopes cooler heads will prevail so the economy isn't held hostage.
The last time they did this on the debt ceiling, the Dow went down 2,000 points in just a few days. We had our credit rating downgraded for the country, which meant $1.3 billion in extra interest costs for the people of the country. So the point is there are real economic consequences for real people when they play these games.
The main rift is a House Republican budget bill that defunds Obamacare. Senator Klobuchar believes the bill will not pass. Besides passing a budget, Congress also must vote to raise the debt ceiling, and compromise on both issues is far from close. It is never too early to get a jump start on a career.
That's exactly what some middle school, high school, and post-grad students were doing today at a manufacturing business called Productivity, Inc. in Plymouth. Here's reporter Eric Nelson.
Some 1,200 students from all over the Midwest flocked to Plymouth today, eager to learn about a future career in the manufacturing industry.
A great place to come down and get a feel for what you want to do with yourself.
The pitch from potential employers to all these kids was simple. Manufacturing jobs are available and are actually cool.
The students that are growing up in the middle and high school, they're not hearing a lot about manufacturing in a positive light, and so we're trying to turn that around and help show them that it is a good career path to find.
The students got to sample plenty of things on this career day, and one thing they found out is that robotics are a huge part of the manufacturing business. It is the circle of production. This high-tech device makes parts for the robot, which then produces parts for almost anything you can imagine. Manufacturing is more than standing at a machine and pushing a button.
Manufacturing is very exciting to get into. It's a lot of fun. You can take a block of metal and your only limitations are your imagination.
Yes, that shiny metal block could become part of a jet, a race car, or a rocket.
Everything you see, whether it's your wristwatch, whether it's your car, whether it's the boat that you spend the weekends on, even things around your house, such as the coffee maker, your pots and pans, things like those.
If you tell a student to take out that little iPhone they've got in their hand, where did it come from? It didn't come from the Apple Store, it didn't come from Verizon. Somebody had to think about it, they had to design it, they had to build it.
The students sponged up plenty of knowledge, and most agree it gave them a glimpse of this field.
Most definitely it does. It lets you know what new tools are coming out, what can get the job done, and what you might need to further your business.
In Plymouth, Eric Nelson, 12 News.
Because of the recession, manufacturing jobs have declined in recent years, but officials we spoke with today believe things are now on the rebound.
A school in Golden Valley hosted a unique group of visitors today. Third graders at the School of Engineering and Arts greeted scientists from 7 different countries. The scientists are touring the United States to learn more about our nation's agricultural policies. A scientist from Bosnia-Herzegovina says it's good that students at this Golden Valley school are learning about agriculture at an early age.
I've noticed that it's also important that from the beginning, second graders and third graders, they are involved in the, let's say, agriculture, veterinary medicine, and they are learning about those things. And I hope they will help them in the future, to choose their professions, and some of them might end up in the food safety or agriculture sector.
The students also showed the group how they collect and analyze data from their garden. Coming up, a business that's been around almost as long as the city that it served.
Then later in sports, Osseo native Caleb Truax takes aim at a pro boxing title.
But first, temperatures that are running warmer than usual so far this month. We're about 4 to 5 degrees above average.
If it's one thing we learned in New Hope today, it's to keep that body of ours moving. Local fitness expert Chris Freitag got everybody moving at Good Samaritan Society's senior care facility. She says it doesn't matter your mobility level, every little bit of exercise helps.
It is so rewarding to see these seniors get so excited and happy. As one woman put it, I think it was like 2 years ago, she said to me, "This was the best party I've ever been to."
Today's event is part of Active Aging Week put on by Aegis Therapies. Each day this week, Good Samaritan will gather up its residents for 30 minutes of walking and wellness activities. We all should be doing it,
Get
right?
moving, that's right.
It is one of Maple Grove's oldest family-owned businesses.
This week, the Lookout Bar and Grill celebrates 55 years in business. Since it opened in 1958, Maple Grove has grown up around it, but the Lookout has retained some of its small-town roots. Tucked in a Maple Grove neighborhood, there's a community fixture more than half a century old. Take me up to this one. Who are we looking at here?
Oh, that's my dad. That's probably 1960, standing behind the bar with a customer there.
When Mike Canan's dad started the Lookout in 1958, there was nothing around it but farm fields.
People always say, why'd you build it there? Well, we always say, well, why'd people build houses around us? So
you were here first.
We were here first.
Black and white pictures from the 1950s and 60s tell the story of a family-owned restaurant and bar where the village of Maple Grove came to dance, listen to live music, and enjoy homemade food.
Hi. How you doing tonight?
55 years later,
We like it. We come here for lunch.
this spot still serves up live music and homemade food
Come for the food, it's delicious, the great salad bar.
for a crowd as varied as Maple Grove itself.
You come in during dinner, it's the families, the middle-aged to older-aged people. You come at night for the bands, that fades away, and we do the 21 to 30-year-old crowds.
To survive, any business must change and grow. An outdoor patio and numerous remodels are part of that effort.
There's, 60 other bars in Maple Grove.
But the roots of this small business are grounded in community.
They really, really support their community and always have.
Absolutely.
Owner Mike Canan is Maple Grove's assistant fire chief, and each year 25 benefits are held at the Lookout to raise money for local families in need.
Now Maple Grove's a huge community, but there's no reason that we can't still be and act like a small community.
A small business giving back to a community that grew up around it. To celebrate 55 years in business, the Lookout has specials going on all this week from Tuesday through Saturday, and of course live music as well this weekend. So, as always.
Sounds like fun, as always.
As always. Yep. Coming up, see what was behind all those oohs and ahs over the weekend in Brooklyn Park.
But first in sports, a team in purple that actually won its football game. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. Well, if you're an athlete and you make a prediction about the outcome, it's always good if you can follow it up and make it happen, right?
Well, this guy did, and he's been doing this for a while and very successful in the ring. Pro boxer Caleb Truax was predicting a knockout in his fight on Saturday night, and the Osseo native was true to his word. Truax facing Cereso Fort for the USBA middleweight title. Fourth round, Truax rocks Fort with a right uppercut and fouls with another big right hand. Fort is badly hurt. Moments later, Truax traps Fort on the ropes, and a barrage of punches sends Fort to the canvas. It's a fourth round TKO victory. Caleb Truax is the new USBA middleweight champion. Cross country took over the small central Minnesota town of Milaca Saturday. Most of our local squads had runners in action at the Milaca Mega Meet. The Class 4A boys taking off at the 5,000-meter course at Stones Throw Golf Course. The winner is Keegan Hurley of Perham. It's a top small school team that opted to compete with the big guys in the race. Joe Lewisell of Tutino Grace runs a strong race. He places fourth overall, just ahead of Maple Grove's Mitchell Dickerson, who leads a pack of three runners to place fifth. Nathan Comer of Armstrong places 22nd overall. Sean Heaton of Maple Grove, Ben Kaufman of Armstrong, and Mitch Kramer of Osseo are 36th, 37th, and 38th. On to the girls' 4A race, where Jenna Trudson of Bemidji races to a win in a time of 14 minutes flat. Hannah Rudd of Armstrong finishes 9th. Maggie Lewisell of Grace 11th overall. So we check out the team scores in Class 4A, starting with the girls. East Ridge runs away with it, with Moorhead a distant second. Bemidji is third. Tutino Grace is fourth. Armstrong, Wayzata, and Maple Grove are 8, 9, and 10, with Osseo 21st. And Champlain Park is 27th. Stillwater's boys beat out Perham by 14 points. Grace is fourth. Armstrong 7th. Osseo wins a tiebreaker with Maple Grove for 12th. Hart Center's 28th and Champlain Park 31st. In football, Osseo scored a one-sided win over Armstrong Friday to improve to 3-1. Meanwhile, Maple Grove was looking to score a road win at Blaine. The Crimson looking for their fourth straight win of the season. First quarter, solid work by the Crimson offensive line. Big hole for Clark Winicky. He darts 48 yards for a touchdown, and it's 13-0 Maple Grove. Second quarter, Carl Altenberg goes to the air to Brady Engelkey. A nice catch of the defender right on him. Sets up a short touchdown run by Winicky. 19-0 Maple Grove leads at the half. The Crimson defense tough all night. Gunnar Ayers breaking through, gets the tackle for loss here. Winicky continues his big night in the second half as well. Nice cutback, and it's into the end zone again. And now a 25-0 Crimson lead. And the Maple Grove defense keeps on coming in the fourth quarter. Emmanuel Erich flies in for the sack. Winicky rushes for 181 yards and 4 touchdowns in this one. And the Crimson win it big, 31-7. Wins have been hard to come by for Brooklyn Center's football team. They look to change that against Spectrum of Elk River. First quarter, Chester Whaley finds a wide-open Terrell Beasley. He trots in for a touchdown, 6-0 Centaurs. They missed the point after. Second quarter, Brooklyn Center goes to the air again. Whaley to Justin Flory. Nice pass and catch here. That's another touchdown. Now 13-0 Brooklyn Center. Later in the second quarter, Whaley floats the pass to the back of the end zone to Rashad Graves, who brings it down. It's 20-0 Brooklyn Center. Spectrum comes back in the second half, and the Centaurs hold on to win 20-14, their first win since 2011. Homecoming at Breck as the Mustangs hosted St. Paul Academy, Mounds Park Academy. First quarter, Graydon Kulik finds Will Culleton on the sideline for a 50-yard touchdown pass. The Mustangs score first. Breck linebacker Charlie Gamer steps in front of a Michael O'Shea pass for an interception, returning it to the Spartans' 35-yard line. A couple of plays later, Kulik to the air again, throwing to Culleton. This one a 20-yard touchdown. Those two combined for 3 first-quarter touchdowns, and it's 20-0 Breck after one. Late second quarter, Kulik swings a pass to Derek Wiedela. He bites his way into the end zone for a 10-yard touchdown. Breck is up 27-6 at the half. Kulik goes back to work in the third quarter, throwing 2 touchdown passes to Jorgen Salveson. This one for 12 yards. Breck is up big 41-6. SPA makes it interesting, scoring the next 4 touchdowns. They get as close as 41-32, but the Mustangs win at 48-32, and they are now 3-1. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back. Beer lovers had 3 reasons to rejoice over the weekend in Brooklyn Center. They had live music, beautiful weather, and not to mention a stein of Surly beer. Fans of Surly beer celebrated SurlyFest on Saturday. It's the annual event that draws people from across the country.
When we got things going 7 years ago, was Austin Summit, and the whole craft beer scene is exploding, and we're pretty excited to be part of the whole scene that's blown up in the Twin Cities.
On Saturday, we're told about 2,000 people attended SurlyFest. And finally, some of the most cared for collectibles in the Twin Cities.
On Saturday, it was the 4th annual Firefighters Benefit Car Show in Brooklyn Park, and photojournalist Dustin Scholl puts us in the driver's seat.
This car club has been very supportive of the fire department. It started a few years ago when we had 2 firefighters battling cancer, and this group came together and decided to raise some money for that cause.
So we came out to the show today just to enjoy the show, see some of the pretty cars, and help support the firefighters.
Just being among the people and looking at all the pretty cars, and it was just a lot of fun.
They love coming out, sharing their cars with the public and telling stories about how they acquired them.
Her name's Edna, named after my grandmother.
It's a big block 400 cubic inch engine. It's been bored.
I inherited it in '77 when she passed, and I've had it ever since. It's got all originals, 44,000 actual miles.
And when I first got in the car, I was like, Grandma, you know what I love about this car? She was like, what? The windows go all the way down. That was my favorite part about this car.
I think the most fun part about the car is the T-tops.
That's a feel when you get into an old car. Something about it makes you smile when you hear it start up.
There's a really nice red with black striped Camaro that would look really nice at our central fire station with Chief written on the door.
This is my favorite color out of all the colors in the world.
It all goes to a good cause, so it's a win-win for everybody.
You'd love to have one of those in your driveway.
That's right.
We'll see you tomorrow.